What's up guys, welcome to another Final Fantasy Brave Exvius video, and we're gonna get right into the review. But before we do, make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe to this channel if you like these kind of reviews. Make sure to hit that notification bell because it's very important. Anyways, let's get into the review, shall we? So we've got Envy here with a I don't know, not very good STMR, I guess, for maybe your support or something, but or maybe you're someone for Dark Visions that doesn't have a hat, but like it doesn't seem very good. It's very whatever. Anyways, Stardust Ray Chaining. She has fixed damage, pretty decent amount of fixed damage. 100% true to wield, 200% TGH, LB finisher, 100 times all enemies. I mean, it's a 5 to 7 star, guys. You can't expect much. No abuse, no 6 times cap, or 600%. Her buffs for herself on her limit burst, and she just doesn't seem very good. Very low damage, very low chaining, everything, pretty much everything is low. Seems like this is just a nostalgia unit, and that's really it. Something for you guys to use, maybe if you are a fan of this character or this anime. Otherwise, she's not very good. In fact, I'm just gonna give her a 4 out of 10. Her score is saved from because of that fixed damage. Basically, everything else she has is almost unmentionable because she almost has nothing. She almost has nothing. So this is basically all that I can mention here because there isn't much else to go off of. So 4 out of 10. She's a damage dealer in the Neovision era, so can't expect much. Got Greed here, who's a little better, not much, but a little better. Stardust Ray Chaining, defense scaling, which is interesting. 120% wind and earth and peril, decent modifiers for 5 star. 5 times, and also that 70 times in the same move, you know, where it, you know, it's a you know what I mean. 150% defense true to wield, and if you have Bronze Neovision's TMR, you can get that 200%. Pretty good. He has some provoking on a cooldown and things like that. Doesn't seem like a very good provoke DPS, really. No abuse either, even though he has wind and earth and peril. I'm assuming that's like a lore thing, because why would he have that if he doesn't have any abuse for them? So I'm just gonna give him 6 out of 10 because his modifiers are pretty good, and defense scaling unit is pretty interesting, I must say. So I'm gonna go to 6 out of 10, pretty good score for a 5 to 7 star damage dealer in this day and age. So honestly, I wasn't even gonna, like, for completionist sake, yes, I will review them, but I was like, should I even bother reviewing these 5 stars? Because they just don't seem like, they seem like an afterthought. Like, they just seem like they rushed through this. Like, and speaking of, this event has like almost nothing going for it. The raid is back to the way it was before, where you can just beat it in 1 turn instead of having to do the 3 turn. There's almost nothing with this event at all. So, yeah. Anyways, if you watch all the way to this part, end of this, or not, this is not the end. If you watch all the way to this part of the video, make sure to type in #greed. #greed will be the first keyword. There'll be 2 in this video. Thank you guys for this part, and we're gonna move to the next part. Got King Bradley here. His STMR seems, on the JB side, it seems like it's just whatever. Honestly, to me personally, it feels like his STMR is a whatever burger. So infinite turns on his bracelet form, Stardust Ray Chaining, Aurora Ray Chaining. I added that later because I noticed it. Does anyone even use Aurora Ray Chaining besides Dark Visions? I mean, it's really bad. Anyways, perfect Dispel on his normal form. He has physical cover, provoke in his base form, 150% true to wield, 600% cap, or 6 times cap legacy wise. He has 50% targeting chance, so if you have the Moogle charm, you're all set. and 60% physical evasion, pretty good. His STR doesn't even help him get to that though. Unfortunately, he doesn't have 70%, so it's only, you still have a 10% more, but that's not that bad. And also 70% or 90% physical, and also general mitigation for himself for one turn, and grant his radiance ability pretty decent as a desperate measure. He's a chainer in his bracelet form. He has fire and thunder imbues, some human killer and human killer buffs, and also accuracy for himself. He's just basically a DPS, and his modifiers are pretty low for DPS. So really, he's a cover unit. He's kind of like a Bronth, but with different, like a different kit basically. He's trying to be like a Bronth. Instead of dark, he has fire and thunder imbues and some killers, I guess. And I don't know what to think of him. He just doesn't seem that like super incredibly interesting for a Neovision unit. Accuracy is very niche. It's almost not needed unless you want to do one trial. It's useful for one trial right now. Unless there's apparently there's 2 new trials or whatever coming in the game, and maybe its accuracy is good again, but other than that, whatever. And he just seems like, he just doesn't seem like that super interesting unit. Like he can be a physical cover tank and he can do a lot of other things, but in terms of being a collab Neovision unit, it's not screaming to me, oh my god, this is amazing. So I'm gonna give him an 8.5 out of 10 for being a pretty good cover tank, having some decent evasion and things like that. But other than that, it's not really that interesting to me. So yeah, 8.5 out of 10, guys. And we're moving on to the next one. So we got Roy Mustang here. So Roy Mustang actually made out pretty good for a Neovision Awakening unit. Infinite turns. He now has fire, Mystic Cross Chaining, or at least CWA on the global side. He has increased chain cap, so he's at 5 times or 500% chain cap for a TDH unit. So if you have Lightning's S-Teamer, the Savior of Souls version, if you have her S-Teamer, you'll have 600% chain cap as a TDH unit. He has fire imbues for 1 turn to allies. It's as whatever. And his normal attack. His abilities, like his Grandest ability, and I think some of his other abilities, gives him more modifier increases to his fire finisher, his Regina-like finishing type kit, and he has, on a cooldown, he has 200% magic demon and human killer buff. He now has 200% magic TDH. In his ratio form, he now has 130% fire resist. Whoops, I meant fire and peril. Whoops, apologies for that. 130% fire and peril, not resist. He has 50% accuracy buff, which is whatever. The big thing I think is the 25% AoE fire damage buff for physical and magical attacks. Pretty good. And he can be a fire finisher in his bracelet form. His limit burst is 140 times. He also has 100% limit burst passive. I think that he is, so far he's the strongest of the banner. He's a Neovision Awaken unit. I can't really make much cons even for him, really. His magic TDH is low, I guess. I mean, 20%. I mean, that's not too bad though. And you can get 6 times cap with Lightning's S-Teamer, so he seems pretty good. I think that maybe, I guess the Regina type finishing is kind of slow now, but with those modifier increases, you can build him up to be really strong and hit hard. So I would not be surprised if he has a huge amount of burst potential being a finisher. His chaining is okay. His chaining is, I think, it's 72 times, which is pretty average, which is not a bad thing. So I think I'm going to give him an 8.5 out of 10. I think that he can't get to that 9 because he's not spectacular, but he's the best on the banner so far. I think that he's the best, definitely the best on the banner so far. And moving on to our Neovision Elves brothers. So we got the brothers here. with a pretty decent S team right now now that we know that if the resistance is not just for them, so those resistances will supposedly for everybody who equips it. The part that's only for them is the MP cost, which is makes the S team a lot better than it was before. Because if it for both of those effects were only for them, it would be really bad. And it'd be good for them, but not obviously not good for anyone else really. And we've got infinite turns on the ray shift form. We've got Stardust Ray and also tag chaining. If you're not familiar with tag chaining, I have a lot of videos on that, so go check that out later on. They got human, stone, and demon killers in their base, 100% passive, and also 200% demon killer in their ray shift form. So you get a little bit trade-off. And 200% TDH, 100% true to wield, 600% cap. More worth it to make them 100% true to wield because you have more killer weapons you can equip, and also the 6 times cap. They do not have the like the 100% chaining cap passive for TDH in it, so it's not worth to make them TDH. So there's that. They have a zone effect on their cooldown. I don't know what it is right now, but at least they have a zone effect, so that's pretty good, right? They have the option of having a zone effect for your team, whatever it may be. They have a 300% attack and magic buff for all allies on their greatest ability. They have 100% Lumiperce damage, which is really important, trust me. And also fire, thunder, water, earth, AU imbue in the ray shift form. So really they're a Lumiperce chainer. Sure, they can tag attack on the ground, but they're really more of a Lumiperce chainer, I'm pretty sure, kind of similar to Rain and Fina, because they have a tag attack in their Lumiperce on their normal form, and they also have 70% mitigation when they use their Lumiperce as well, which is pretty neat. There are some problems, I must say. Despite Alphonse being here, this is not a tank unit besides the mitigation that I mentioned. And I think they might have something else, but they don't have any covers. There is no covering in this, in anywhere in on their brave shift form or normal form anywhere. And their base Lumiperce mod seems kind of low, 100 times mod compared to Rain and Fina 120 times. Maybe they can still do really good damage because they're not limited to fire, because their Lumiperce is non-elemental, so you can imbue it with whatever, compared to Rain and Fina, who's locked to fire because it is a fire element. So there's a trade-off there. I guess that's what they thought. It still should be at least a decently higher mod than this, but it is what it is. And some other things, like they imperil themselves when they imbue everybody, which is whatever. And also they remove buffs, remove certain things from your team when they use them. I don't know what they are right now, but it's kind of bad, but not too bad. So overall, they seem like a really strong tag attack Lumiperce chainer with also some ground chaining and some other things that they can do, like AU imbues and stuff like that. So it's pretty good. They seem really good for being what they are, but they don't seem spectacular. Like, you're not going to be doing jazz hands like I'm doing for this unit. They just seem good, but they don't seem like anything out of the ordinary, really. So I can't give them the 9, unfortunately. I can't give them a 9 out of 10. Why is King Bradley the physical cover tank of this banner? Why is this not the physical cover tank of this banner? That they would have been so much more impressive to have this as a tank unit, but then they could also be a tag attack chainer. Why couldn't that have been a thing? To me, that seems like that's an oversight. Why is King Bradley the physical cover tank? Like, I don't care about him being a physical cover tank. I wanted this unit to be the physical cover tank. Smash like if you agree with this. Smash dislike if you disagree with that. But it just seems like, why is this a thing? Why is this a thing? Like, I don't understand why Bradley is the cover and this unit is not, when Elric has, or Alphonse has in the past as a unit been the physical cover tank, and now suddenly they lose that appeal. They're still strong, but that seems like off to me. That seems, imagine this, guys. Imagine they were a physical cover tank. Now you can bring them to any team fight because they're a physical cover tank, and if you need a physical cover tank, you could bring them along and they could have a tag attack, they have AoE imbues, they have a lot of other things that they can provide. Imagine that instead of being in the DPS slot, they were in the physical tank slot. Imagine that, guys. That would have been a whole, like a mess, much better. So, unfortunately, we'll be in the DPS slot, which means they seem a lot less appealing than if they were in the tank slot, honestly. Like, think of Gabranth. He's a physical cover tank. He can be in that physical cover tank spot, but he can chain. Of course, he's not the best of all time, but he can do chaining if you want him to do that. So overall, I think I'm also going to give them an 8.5. If they had the physical cover tank, they would have got a 9 easily, because they would have had a role compression. They would have been in a whole different league than they are right now. But I do feel like overall, I think Roy Mustang was the winner on this banner. What do you guys think about that? Who do you think is the winner on this banner? Please let me know in the comment section down below. There's one keyword already, and the other keyword will be hashtag metal. Hashtag metal will be the second keyword. So if you watch the full video, there's 2 keywords in the video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure again to subscribe. Make sure to like the video, please. It really helps me out. And make sure to hit that notification bell so then you get access to knowing when I post videos. Thank you guys for watching. The banner sucks, by the way. Like, the banner itself, pulling on the banner sucks. I'll probably still go for it on a live stream today. Just probably tickets though, because honestly, the rates are really bad. The safety net is a joke. Over 100k lapis you need to get guaranteed one of them. And also, they put Neovision Last Will and Rain on the banner as well, so wow. Yikes. The banner is yikes. The units are good, but the banner itself is yikes. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you in the polls later today. Peace.